Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my virtual studio here in Vermillion. Today we are painting this beautiful scene that you can see beside me. I've painted this one in acrylic painting, I think about 5 or 6 times now, so I'm really excited to bring this to you in virtual reality. If you haven't seen any of my tutorials before, I encourage you to go back onto my channel and check out all my other ones. This one is number 11 that I have done. I'll link below the playlist so you can find them all too as well, or you can find them right in the Vermillion game. If you go to the Paint Along section and then go to the Paint Along with Brian Sloan artist, you can find them all there as well. If you have any questions while you're painting, please don't hesitate to ask. You can comment below and I'll respond to you as soon as I can, or you can send me a message at brian@briansloanartist.com or on any social media platforms as well. Yeah, I'm excited for this one, so let's jump into it. Okay, welcome back to the studio. So if you haven't already, you can go to the save a new part and save the painting you are working on, whatever that is, and start a new one. So today we're going to be doing a little bit of a different size. We're going to be doing, let's see what we can get here. There we go. This one's going to be a 12 by 24, so it's not one of the standard sizes in Vermillion here, but once you get it to there, just put your hand in the middle and you'll be good to go. So I just want to make sure that you can see the whole canvas here. Alright, I know you can't see the bottom tray, but we won't use it too much, so don't worry about that. Once you get that size though, then you can kind of increase it. I just want you to be able to see as much as possible. Alright, so this one, I'm excited for this one. I've painted this one in real life, as I said in the intro, I think 5 or 6 times now, and so yeah, I'm excited to bring this one to you in virtual reality. I'm just going to bring up my original painting here on my website just so I have a reference of it as I'm going through and teaching you how to paint this one on your own. So make sure your palette is reset. You can grab your 2-inch brush and we're just going to shrink this down, and you can see the background of the painting there. We're going to just start with some of this lighter phthalo blue. Gonna grab a little bit of white here. Actually, while we're at it, let's check our mixability. It's set pretty good, so we're gonna leave that. We're gonna need a little bit of black in there as well, just to kind of mute that a little bit. Bit more white. Oh. I need to get smaller amounts here. Okay, now we're kind of getting what we want. That took a while, but you can see in the painting up there. Oh, actually, you can't see it. Let me bring that down so you can see on the finished product painting if you're. That the top up here is lighter than the bottom, but then we have the river area as well, but we're just going to kind of cover the majority of this piece here. So after, oh, I don't want that attached. There we go. After just putting that little bit on, I can already tell you that's too dark for my liking. It needs to be a little bit lighter. Okay, and we're going to do the same on the bottom here. We are going to cover up quite a bit of this on the bottom. remember the tip to shrink your canvas down to help cover it faster. So this is as small as this ratio will go, so that's what we're going with here. Alright, once you kind of have that blocked in, grab your blender brush and you can just kind of smooth things out just so those transitions are smoother between our colors there. So this is the second tutorial I've done here with kind of some nice fall colors. The other one is a mountain scene with beautiful yellows and oranges and alright, once you got that in there, I'm just going to take a color shaper here, take this darker, you just take a gray. I'm just going to take this color that I got here, just that's different there, and we want to, well, what I would want to do here I just want to go in here and kind of map out where things are going. Just so I have an idea of where everything needs to go. And this stuff will just be blended out later anyways. Let me redo that one. But I like to kind of just draw things on with this because it just helps give me an idea where things are going to be, and that paint gets blended out anyways. Alright, so we're going to start with the top and work our way down. The last tutorial I had, things were my mixed reality app paused on me a couple times. If you watch that one, then you know. I'll try to keep track this time, make sure it doesn't do that to us. So we're going to start with these background trees, and these background trees, they're really similar to, actually I'm going to take the smooth short flat. Mine's very, very big. We're going to turn that down a little bit. Sorry, what was I saying? We want the trees to be very similar color to what our background is, and the reason being is we want it to be kind of like a misty, shady forest, right? And it's maybe foggy early morning, and so just try with those colors. I'm gonna use the ruler for some of them, just to kind of make sure that they are straight, and I'll add little imperfections in them to make them look more like real trees in nature. But when you're using the ruler, just remember that you need to line up your brush how you want it to be lined up on the canvas before you turn it on, right? So I want mine to be straight like this. Alright, so I like that. That's a nice color for what we're doing. It stands out enough on that side where it's lighter like that, right? And if you wanted to, you could turn down your mixability but I'm gonna leave mine for now, and we'll see kind of how that goes here. But the closer the trees get, the darker you want the shades to get, if that makes sense. So for this one, actually, I'm going to increase that size a little bit. Nice, okay. All right, so these are looking a little bit too straight for my liking. So I'm going to turn off that. I think I am still going to use just the stability just by pressing B. Okay, we need another one here. This one's going to be smaller. And some trees have bends and twists in them, so this one I'm going to kind of curve over a little bit. This one here I'm going to add a branch that goes up. Blend that in a little bit more. Yeah. And here's where your creative liberties can kind of go, right? You can add little branches wherever you want them to be, or you don't even have to add, oh, that's too bright. You don't even have to add them if you don't want to, right? Okay, I'm gonna add one more kind of medium dark tree over here. Okay, now I'm going to grab a little bit of this brown. Mix it in with that, and we're going to add in a tree kind of right here, and it's going to overlap a little bit, which is fine. And just for a moment here, I'm going to turn down that mixability. There we go. If you're joining me for the first time, I appreciate you being here and I hope you're enjoying this so far. Okay, now we're going to move into the one up front. So for the one up front, oh, didn't notice all that orange that I accidentally got. For the one up front, I'm going to grab just a really dark brown, pretty much a black there on the, and I'm going to increase that size because this one's going to be right up front. We're not going to do it along that horizon line. It's going to be a little bit further down. And this one I pretty much do want it straight. And I do want it to be dark, so I am going to turn down that mixability. And I'm going to go about right there and go up. Now if you want to, you could even bring this brown one slightly down as well. Oh, not that far down. Okay, there we go. Now for the branches on our dark tree here, I'm gonna try the pointed round here. We're gonna see how this goes. It just froze on me, but I noticed it. So I don't think we lost anything there. Crazy thing. So I'm trying the pointed round. Load that up. So we've got a branch kind of coming off right here. I don't like that, so I'm going to redo it. Oop. And I'm going to try the rigger brush for some of these smaller ones, and I'm going to increase that size a little bit. Actually, I don't want to go that far out. Just want to go to there. Have a little one come off of it. The one thing I like about painting is, yeah, I have this reference that I'm going off of a previous painting I've done, but it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Alright, and we have one coming down right there too. I'm going to add in the rest of the branches in a minute here. What I do want to grab is the bristle, short and flat. I'm going to take pure black here, and I'm just going to run some pure black up and down that tree. I'm going to take some of that burnt umber there. Actually, this one's probably we're going to run some of this up and down the tree as well. Okay, I took a little break there, but I am back. So I'm going to grab this bristle short flat, and I'm going to take a little bit of that darker brown there, mix it with a little bit of this blue. That's my mixability at here. And I'm just going to add this into, actually I think we'll leave the mixability down for a second. That's really shaky, that looks bad. So I'm going to press B. I should have done this beforehand with the other, when I was just doing this tree to begin with, but I didn't. That's okay. Okay, I'm going to go back in and use this rigger brush, and here's my reference photo. You're obviously just watching the tutorial or using this as a reference photo while you're painting. And I'm going to go in now and actually I'm going to add a few. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. That to be lighter. here while you're adding in these branches. If you want to change them up a little bit, feel free to, right? It's not like they have to be exactly as mine are. Alright, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to grab the smooth short flat, grab the really dark black, and I'm just going to increase my size here. And we're just going to fill in where this ground is actually going to be. And as you can see, it's all going to be covered in the end anyways, so don't worry too much about if it blends out with the other colors or anything like that. Usually I do this beforehand. I'm sorry, we should have done this before, because now we kind of have to go around this tree here. Again, I guess that's what I get for waking up early in the morning to do these tutorials. And as you get into these other little parts here, you can shrink it down. And if it starts to mix a little bit, that's almost okay for these further back spots, as we want those to be kind of a lighter color anyways. We don't want them to be black underneath. And if you want to, with this brush and the dark, just kind of go in here and you can make this shoreline a little bit more irregular, right? We don't want it to be a perfect straight line. We want there to be kind of little spots where it juts out. So you can make those little adjustments there too. Alright, now we are going to get into the leaves. So I'm gonna actually if you want to, you can save any of these colors down on your little workspace there. I don't know if I'll use them again, but I'll save them just so I can reset this. And honestly, as you can see in there for the leaves from the reference image, we're just using different shades of red mainly. And for this part, I want to make sure that my paint thickness is turned all the way up. I'm going to leave the mixing sensitivity down because I want these to really stand out. I'm going to try the pointed round first, and first I'm just going to take some of this red here and mix in just a hint of black to make a really nice deep dark red. And I'm just going to start on this side just to try it out. Oh yeah, that'll work great. Yeah. And I'm just going to dab this in here. And this is probably the most time consuming part of this piece here, is the leaves. But I promise you, in the end, the look that you get is worth it. So I'm just going to do a little fast forward here. You can continue on dabbing this, and I'm just going to fill in this space, fill in over here, and then I'll come back to you before I do the little back area there. Alright, I had started kind of going into the water a little bit, but I'm going to wait because we are going to do the reflections of the trees, and then we can add these leaves that go in the water afterwards. So I'm going to make sure I save this color down here on my tray for later. So now we're just going to take just that pure one and do the exact same thing. Just a quick note, as you're moving kind of towards the back, just try to make them a little bit smaller, as if that's giving us that kind of depth that we want, right? Alright, once you got that in, I'm just going to try here this really bright red and see what I think. Yeah, that's awesome. So those are going to be our three shades of red here in this one. So I'm just going to grab this red here and sorry, I was just making sure my camera hadn't paused, and just do that all again. Okay, now that you got that layer in, now we're gonna go in and add in the reflections of these trees that I should have added before. So for that, I'm gonna grab our bristle short flat, and if you did keep any of those blues, because I said I didn't think I was gonna need them again, but obviously I am. Oh, I went a little high on that one. I'm just gonna go in underneath, oh wow, underneath of each of these trees. And just using that ruler there, I'm just gonna scratch in a bit of a reflection. And if they're not perfect, that's okay. Mainly because we're going to be kind of blending it out as if they're in water anyways, right? So if your edges aren't perfect, that's okay. Actually, one thing I forgot to do there with this other tree over here is extend that reflection. Oh, come on. Below as well. And same with these two over here. Scratching a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Okay, then take your blender brush, and first I'm just gonna have it extended all the way out, and I'm just gonna go a little bit side to side here. Just doing this initial blend. And then if you want to, you can shrink that down so it's the skinniest there. And go in and add anything else in there that you want. I don't like this black, how that turned out there, so I'm going to adjust this black quick here. I do want to make this a bit darker. So I'm just going to blend some of this together first. And then I'm going to take a bristle fan brush, some white, so there's some of this light blue here, mix a little bit of that together, and I'm just going to go lightly along in different spots here. Ooh. Especially right along the shoreline. And then again, increase that blender brush size and just go over them. I'm not necessarily blending them too far out, just going over them to kind of smooth them out just a little bit more. Okay, now once you got that done, take your pointed round, take that darkest, that darkest red. Now we can go in onto the actual water and start adding in some leaves that have fallen into the water as well. I'll take that medium red. And finally that light red. Okay, now I'm going to go up into our little trees there. And add in some leaves with these ones. I'm going to just take a little bit of this white here and just kind of dull that down. I don't know if you can see that too well. I'll add it in comparison here on the palette, then you can see it. Probably use those 3 colors more, just that's going to help give us again some distance in. Our work. I say some distance, you know I mean depth. For one that's up close like this one here, you can add in, and even this one here, you can add in some of the same reds that we were using down there and on this tree, because they are close. You don't have to use all different reds. But one for like that bush that's going to be back there, that can be those more muted reds, giving us a bit more of a depth. And we got a few of these up here as well. Alright, and then you can grab some black, and I'm just going to add a few little baby trees, you can say, in here, and on this side. I had quite a few in the original painting. I'm not going to add quite as many here. But with that, I'm just going to take this nice green that we already have pre-mixed for us there and add in some nice green leaves. Still some green leaves on the new growth. They're still trying to grow, still trying to make a name for themselves, just like we all are. Alright, once you have those colors on, you can take a step back, and well, take a step back anytime, but take a step back and see what you think. Awesome. If you want to adjust anything, now's your time to do that. Add any leaves or coverage anywhere, you can do that. If you want to sign it in the bottom there, usually I just take a color that's similar to what I've been using in the painting and sign it. That was a messy one. I'll have to redo that one later. Just a reminder though, whenever you are finished, make sure you save it. And then if you want to export it to share, you can share it right to Facebook, or you can, with these 3 different versions, you can save them to your downloads and they will sync to your media on your Oculus app on your tablet or phone or whatever, or you can just upload them to your computer straight from your headset. I shouldn't have said Oculus, MetaQuest. So thank you for joining me today. I hope you learned something new that you can take on to your next painting. I'd love to see your final results. If you want to tag me either on like the Discord group or on Facebook or anywhere else, or you can send me your results at brian@briansloanartist.com. That would be awesome. Make sure you check out my other tutorials as well. Give this one a like, subscribe so you don't miss the next one, and we'll see you next time on Brian Sloan Artist.